Wow, what a month I had. Holy cow. Um, well, today I want to speak about level 6 soulmate and meeting level 6 soulmates. Holy cow. This is like, woo. Well, if you ever have thought while you were going through the dark night of the soul, man, that is nothing in comparison to when you meet a level 6 soulmate. All of a sudden, you are fucking back to nothing. It's like you were dipping so deep back to unconsciousness that it's like, fuck, what's happening? So the funny thing, that was incredible, I'm telling you, and this lasted like longer than a month. I was so high up. I was at the dome. I had this high vibration. I was maintaining it, etc., etc. And so, but of course, you go through a lot of those things. You go through the career stuff. You release all the money worries and all that other thing. And then, of course, you have to leave behind this external love, idealization, and all that bullshit, right? Because everything is within you. So there is nothing out there. But the funny thing is, when integration time comes, all this will come back because you are, in a way, you're kind of testing yourself. So when it's integration time, it's not just in mentally and in psychologically you understand and know, and consciously you understand, but also have to be able to apply it. So you're going to have those experiences in order to really test yourself, to see how well do you know what you know mentally and consciously, how well can you apply that. So, oh my God. I mean, I'm still, it's not shocked, but it was like a big, huge shift, and it's within and out there and everywhere, and it's amazing. And that thing happens because all of a sudden when you meet this person, you see their soul. I looked into their eyes, or in his eyes, and I've seen his soul, and I was in so much this loving energy that I felt, and I've seen the soul. And the funny thing is, I knew it was a kind of like a weird temptation thing in that sense. I even said it the first night, first evening when we talked for hours and from the afternoon. And the funny thing was, it was held, this whole thing was held by a thread of thought, meaning maybe it is outside. No, it's not. Of course not. But the funny thing was, the first night I had this incredible, when I went home and we said goodbye and whatever, I had the weirdest activation. I had goosebumps. I had cold sweats. I was sleeping. And while I was sleeping, I had this incredible feeling of feeling love for this person that I just met a few hours before. And on a soul level, it's such an incredible impact. And of course, and then I saw how I'm actually falling from high above and really like crashing in an airplane. And then all of a sudden I level up, but really almost close to the ground. I mean, I was like amazing dream. And I, kind of sensed it in my dream already that this is a big dip. It was a really, really big dip. And the next day, it was like my heart was like breathing so fiercely and amazingly. It was an incredible experience when I woke up. My heart felt like, okay, now I'm breathing. And the funny thing was, oh my goodness, all of a sudden I had this thought that I might need this. And that thought is self-doubt. If you think that you need anything from the outside to complete you, you're already in doubt. So you are actually getting out of your complete self-faith, and basically you start doubting yourself. Now that one small little thought pattern can really, really freaking smash you to the ground. Smash you almost to the ground. Really. Because this is no time for doubts anymore. So our frequency is so high up, so refined, so complete, that even that thought can really, really fuck you up in a way. Of course, this was a big test. So I went into this thing, and then, of course, you see, I have the dreams, everything coming, it shows me how, things are going, what's going to happen, and all this stuff. And so I was journaling, as I always do with my dreams, and they were exactly telling me, where I am at that point, what's going to happen, and all this stuff. So, but when you have the seed of doubt in you, you're losing power. The moment you have that, the moment you really, and this is just a really, really thin thread of thought pattern, but that very small thing can trigger such an incredible loss in frequency that, I cannot even tell you how much and how it felt. And of course, we had certain releases because, of course, you're working with each other. We made it conscious. And he was participating in that stuff, but still his truth is somewhere else than mine, right? So when you have this, exactly, you will feel it. Then you feel some things like all of a sudden you feel this trust for that person, and then all of a sudden you feel that you cannot trust them either. You're going to have the whole feeling enchiladas. Really, it's like the whole bunch of stuff is going to come up. You're going to feel fear. You're going to have all this other stuff. I've seen that he used to be my husband in another life. He used to be somebody somebody who was an inquisitor, doing all kinds of stuff. I had this fear pattern. Then I've seen a life where I was a prostitute and I had my own house, right, that I was operating. And he was a client of mine, and he also was helping me financially somehow. So we were kind of like owning and owing each other certain things. And in that lifetime, he was a very cruel man. He was very, very cruel, very abusive in a way. And so I had all kinds of memories coming up from past lives. So this was kind of like the frequency echo from the past. And really, it was an incredible experience. And sometimes I felt like I'm losing all of my awareness, losing all of my consciousness. And so it really felt like, being the darkest just before the dawn. Holy moly. That was incredible. Feeling the feeling of love, and at the same time feeling the feeling of fear, heart jumping, and problems with the rhythms, and not being able to breathe. It was like, holy cow, it's like short of breath, all kinds of stuff, crying, a lot of emotional release. Wow, I say, wow. I never experienced such thing. Let's put it this way. Yes, I had, but I had in different times, like in 2005 when I was meeting, and we're not meeting many of these level of soulmates. We have maybe 2 or 3 in a lifetime. And, but different level will require different level of meetings, and they will be very, very intense. And I would say I had 3 of them already. and I think I'm finished with them. So this is something like really just before the big shift. And since new stargates open up, you know, on the 5th and 6th, you know, Sirius stargates and other stuff, I mean, you know, you cannot take anything old into it. So basically your level 6 soulmate is clearing remaining debris of you know, past stuff. What I have to also share is that I called it in, right? Because the funny thing is, of course, it's always you who creates these things. We know that. So always take responsibility for it, which is not easy when you really go into that much depth. And when you fall back into a certain level of consciousness, it's like, holy shit, you say, I've been here before. God, I don't want to come back to this. But it's such a big impact. And I recalled it by, it was a level 6 meeting, a level 6 soulmate in 2005 who I met, who triggered my awakening, basically. And in my intense awakening, let me put it this way, because we're always in a way awakening, we're always growing in a way, but that was, when I look back, I would say that was the moment when I started really, really waking up to myself and really going back into really, really deep self knowledge and searching and really start my spiritual path in that sense, the highest part of it. So I met him, and it was the same effect. It was really shaking your whole core. I mean, I'm telling you, it's shaking you to the core. And so anyway, I did not live that love. And in that particular time, I was still believe that there is someone outside who will complete you and make you happy, right? So I looked at relationships as a form of fulfilling yourself, which is of course not, but at that time I had that belief, I had that consciousness, I had that level of consciousness. So and since I had that, but I did not live that love, supposed to love, but it wasn't. But anyway, somehow that belief system got stuck in me in that sense. So when I was watching a movie, and it really reminded me of, and then I had this nostalgia, right? This nostalgia. And I thought, you know, oh my gosh, you know, it was so nice. And it was like, yeah, you know, maybe that love, and oh, that would be so good to relive it, and all this stuff. Well, guess what? I got that. But what's going to happen is that when you have those heartful wishes, in that sense, of course, you always get it, but at the same time, you're binding yourself to the energy of the past. So you basically bring it forth, you bring it up to the surface, but of course, you bring it up to the surface in order to be able to clear it and release it. So I created this experience, this time, in order to clear the debris of that stuck in energy of that past, which constantly would be like this, oh my God, I did not do that, and oh my God, and there is this, what if I have done it, and what if I had lived it, and what if whatever. So it was an unresolved event, basically, at, you know, whatever that I felt, you know, nostalgic towards and all that stuff. But so basically, I started bringing it forth. So I meet this guy, right, in the 27th of May, and guess what? Level 6 comes in and really, really start to clear the slate. Really completely start to clear the slate. So if you by any chance will meet a level 6 soulmate, well, expect big shaking, big releasing, big shifts, really huge ones. And it was not easy. It will never be easy. But you have to make it conscious. If you have a partner who you can work with consciously, and if you're both conscious, you know, then you will be willing to work together towards this. It's an amazing thing. And all those things that you thought that you already released, like attachments, etc., 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 man, I was dipped into that consciousness, his consciousness too, because, of course, it's like you're kind of mixing the two, right? His consciousness, your consciousness, all that other stuff. And you already know what you know. And whenever we spoke and I was saying things, he said, oh my gosh, I'm so far away from that. So he already knows that he's far away from that consciousness, because yes, he understands what I'm saying, but it's not his belief system yet. It's really. So we're not here to make couples out of each other, but really supporting in a way while we're clearing the debris through another and with each other, kind of make it conscious. If you can, if not, just note what you need to do, just whatever, and don't mistaken this for a love relationship, because it is not. We're not here to think, once again, that we are not complete without another. So, because that human belief, that particular level of belief, still believes that you can only complete yourself through another person, and that is the complete lie. So you have to be self-sovereign and completed by yourself. And then there are no attachments to people, you have to stay free and clear. So it was an amazing thing. So I just felt inspired to do this video, because it is the most amazing experience you will ever have, and a lot of you will have these meetings, these experiences, in order to clear the debris and really being able to integrate and really completely release yourself from the prison of understanding, do you get me? And really, fully, completely stand in self-faith, without a doubt, without any of lower dimensional, vibrational thought patterns. Because when you doubt yourself, you immediately give your power away. You give, it's not to other people, you give your power away generally just by a thread of thought, a thought pattern which you lead yourself into doubting your full self-completion. You are completed by yourself. You are a god, you are a goddess, and you are not dependent on anybody. So you're gonna feel obsessed, you're gonna feel whatever. When you have this doubt, the moment you meet your level 6 soulmate, you will have all kinds of feelings coming up at once. And you will be so confused that if you don't keep yourself on track, really, you have to keep reminding yourself and don't get sucked into the illusion, because this is your biggest test you're going to have, just because the greatest shift that you're going to go through. And then really stabilizing your self-faith complete, right? Because it's self-faith time, complete self-faith. There are no doubts anymore. There are no maybe, could be, should be, nothing like that. Because you're so fine in vibrational tuning that any little doubt can fuck you up, really. So why we're here is to be conscious, to why we have those activations through another, to stay conscious. And the lesson is to let it go. Know what it is here for, and then let it go and move on. Because you are you, and you are completed and full and complete by yourself. So, good luck, everyone. If you're going through this, if you're gonna go through it, because believe me, you're gonna go through it. one time or another. And well, anyway, when you find this video, it was meant to be founded for you, to help you to understand what you're going through. This is the only thing why we do stuff. This is the only thing why we get inspired to do certain things, because whatever we are inspired to do will be needed one day for someone or for many. So thank you for listening and have fun. Bye.